Welcome to episode 12 of the Forgotten Fields Project. I'm Robin Reed alongside Tara Williamson, and we have a full house today. So join us as we explore a new growing season. Hey Tara, always good to be with you. And once again, we are facing, weather, real weather. We're facing seasons, real pollen. If I have to wipe any more yellow off of anything, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to stop complaining about it because I got 3 beehives now.
Oh.
Yes.
So the pollen's good for you.
The pollen's good. So I complain. I'm horribly stuffed up. The drainage is disgusting, but I can't complain anymore. Every time I see it, I think there's an actual silver lining. This is awesome.
Thank you for deviating from disgusting drainage to something that's positive. I appreciate that. Hey, guess who's in the house with us today? The one and only. Carmen is here. And we're excited about that. So let's greet her with whatever kind of silly thoughts we're having right in the beginning. Threw a curveball when she wasn't looking. Yeah.
Right. We can talk about bees, actually, for a second.
Okay.
So I did a kind of a video of myself. My mom actually took it today on the farm, and the topic was around our bees because we just replaced one hive from Beaver Dam bees with a new hive. They had died over the winter, and one of the topic that was today was when you buy from a local honey producer, what are you really buying, and how different beekeepers do things different ways. So I had started, with the chickens, and education was really big for me. What is pastured poultry, the benefits of pastured poultry, and that built a trust with people. So now I feel like people come to me to know what is really happening. Tell me the truth. So I found out that some beekeepers will put sugar water for long periods of time for their bees. So their bees actually make honey from the sugar water. So there's really no health benefits to this honey per se. It doesn't have, wildflower, it doesn't have all these things that wild honey is supposed to have in it. Mm-hmm. But it causes them to get lots of honey. So, right, from a producer, it's like, well, I got a lot of honey, but it's actually made from sugar water. And so I did an educational video on that, just that you should ask your beekeeper. There are times to use sugar water, like in the very early spring you could use a little bit, but it's not something you want to use for a long period of time because it has no health benefits.
And this stuff doesn't have to be on the label. There's no label claims for it, no regulation.
Nope.
And when you're buying local honey, I would think the first and foremost reason you're doing it is because you want those pollen properties. You want that local component.
That's right. So I don't know. It was educational for me, and I thought it'd be educational for others. So we did a short video this morning on that.
That's awesome.
Just a question that you could ask your beekeeper before you buy it. It doesn't mean that they'll be honest, but it was interesting.
Yeah. All the other hoops we have to go through with meat, and then here it's just whatever. Yeah. It's interesting, but that's a great compliment, though, that you're so transparent that people literally seek you out to give an honest
what's real
answer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our food system definitely lacks that. So cool.
So we want to talk to Carmen about all sorts of things. We want to talk about how farming has changed and stuff like that. But I forgot to take some time to reintroduce Carmen to our audience. So Carmen, would you remind us what you do, why you do it, and why you always have a smile on your face?
Yep. So I'm Carmen Hambrick. I own Fincastle Farm, which is actually right down the road from Robin Reed's house. And I started that farm. The concept came in 2021. I started it in 2022, all around pastured poultry. And I've since sold vegetables, all types of different products, cheeses, milled goods, baked goods, eggs, and the farm has evolved since then. I'm still raising pastured poultry, very just passionate about those daggone chickens. I love those things, and so that hasn't stopped, but the farm has changed since then.
Of course, we're happy with her daggone chickens when she feels like doing that. That's one of our passions as well. So tell us a little bit about sort of what's changed. A couple years is a long time in farming, and you've had experiences, quite a variety of experiences. So where do you stand today? We're going into a new season. Tell us a little bit about what your passion still is.
So, like I mentioned, the passion is the pastured poultry. I love raising those chickens, but from where I started, I started the first year I raised 650 chickens, which is a lot when you process them yourself. And almost died that year. And then the second year, again, I can't remember how many I did. It was close to that amount. And what I realized is I was getting burnout. I had originally started the farm because I was burnt out in corporate America, and I was getting burnt out on the farm as well. And when I left my corporate job, I said, I'll give this 2 years to see if I can make some money. And what ended up happening is, I could make a tiny amount of money, but it wasn't enough to support my family. So I had to make hard decisions about whether I was, what was I going to do to support my family, but yet continue farming. And so last year was about learning the balance, like how much can you farm and keep your customers happy. These customers have been so loyal to me, I could not let them down. And I think that's where the issue lies within me, is not letting anyone down that has, supported me for so long in the farm, but yet being able to work outside the farm and then still balance it all. So that's where I'm at this year.
So I was thinking about this because I've known you for a little while, and life is complicated, and Tara's going to ask you about a typical day in just a second. But here's my question for now. What's the one idea you had that you thought was just so darn brilliant at the time? You were going to light up the world with this great idea, and then it turned out to be not so much different, but it wasn't what you thought it would be.
Well, the first year as I was planning this, starting this farm, I thought, well, those chicks have to be in the brooder for 2 weeks before they go on pasture. So every 2 weeks I'll order new chicks. Well, what I didn't account for is you have to clean out the brooders. What if there's a storm and the chicks can't go out that day? What if the male is running late? All of these things. So I had those chicks coming in every 2 weeks, and I had to get the chicks out in the fields and clean the brooder and get them in, and it was a disaster. But it was already planned. I had to execute it, and that's where some of the lessons learned come. So that was one thing that I thought was brilliant and did not turn out to be brilliant. The last one was actually last year. I thought, I'm going to have a U-pick flower farm. It couldn't be that hard. I mean, I have raised these chickens. I mean, this is livestock. I've kept them alive. I've killed them with my own hands. I think I can grow some flowers. Oh my gosh. I mean, the weeds, I've never seen weeds like that. I tilled them, I pulled them, I hoed them, and then finally I had to give up. I thought there's no way someone's going to come out here and tromp through these weeds to pick these daggone flowers. But I mean, there's, like, for instance, I know about plastic, putting plastic down as weed barrier, but there's only so much upfront expense you can take in a project, right? Oh, I can put, $1,000 into weed barriers on something I don't know that's actually going to work. Mm-hmm. And that's why you try to do it with the least amount of investment as possible, and then there was no return on that one.
Yeah.
So.
God, but we get so passionate about it.
Oh yeah, I was in it.
I
was in it.
Yeah. Oh, God, if we only had money to farm, right?
That's a different podcast altogether.
Yes.
We'll have to come back for year 10 for that one, I think.
Yeah.
How to make money farming.
Yeah. This is how to break even and put tissues in the corner of your eyes at night after you think about what happened on that day. Typical. So what's a typical day like now on the farm for you?
Well, this year is very different. We are actually building a house on the farm. So currently my parents live on the farm. They have blessed me with letting me have full access to their farm. So we wanted my child Henry to be closer to them. I'm just 10 minutes from them now, but the commute gets old. Twice a day for feedings, it's a time suck. It's an hour and a half probably, just traveling, talking. It's not like I just pull up and feed and leave. So I think that living there will make me able to do more with the farm than I can currently handle. And so We're building the house now. It's supposed to be ready in October. I am working off the farm now, so a typical day is as soon as my son gets on the bus, I head over, feed chickens, and right now we're heavy in gardening. I ran the tiller this morning, and the corn and potatoes. We got new laying chicks. We have new bees, and then once I do that, I go home and work. And then once my son gets off the bus, then we feed again.
I'm wondering, are you wondering? Let's see if we're wondering the same thing. We've known Carmen for a little while. This woman leads with laughter. The first thing she does when you say something stupid to you is laugh. Pretty good, right? She's just described a laugh inhibitor at times, and yet I suspect she's still got a real positive attitude about what she's doing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking to her in year 2 or 3 or whatever year this is about her experiences. So, Tara, share with us and share with Carmen. What is this all about? This is about a sense of humor, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I mean, you have to have, to farm, you have to have a morbid sense of humor, I think, first and foremost. Well, I was thinking when you said, what are we thinking the same thing? I said, we're all masochists is my original thought.
Yeah, I shouldn't have phrased it that way.
Yeah.
I really led myself down the
Yes.
pathway on that one. So,
But if you don't find a way to laugh about it and find some type of bright side, then you will. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You will.
And it's,
cry.
I think it's laughter, but it's purpose. The purpose drives me more than anything.
And you still find that you're able to balance the regular off-farm job, the commuting there?
Right now I can, because we have 75 chickens in the field. So it's really not that much. And I mean, when you think about learning from growing birds, growing the birds is a pain, meaning they take a lot of time each day. But I could grow birds. I could grow hundreds of birds and love every minute of it. But it's the processing that is the reason that I cannot grow as many birds as I would like. I would love to have 6 chicken tractors pulling 300 birds at a time. I would give anything to have that, but I just can't process them.
What's the limiting factor there?
Processing is labor.
Just the labor?
Labor, time, ice. Ice is a big factor. But more than that, time. Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing the labor that goes into that. Oh my God. So where do you normally find any other labor help?
I just use my husband and my mom and dad to process. We had one person help last year. I have one person that is asked to help this year. But it's just, again, around a work schedule. So who knows if that'll work. But that's one of the limiting factors for sure.
That's the hardest part about it, is in that like in-between stage where you can't fully throw yourself in to farming full-time.
Yeah.
And trying to find that delicate balance where you want to break free and do this because you have such passion and drive. And that's what farmers are. We're used to creating our own world, literally creating and cultivating and curating it. And then still having one foot in the outer,
That's
regular, real, corporate bullshit.
pardon me. Excuse me.
You can bleep that out with a boss.
No, not at all. Not at all. You're talking truth, and that is great. Carmen, last time you were with us, we talked about a lot of different things. And one of the things you talked about was misunderstanding. And I think what you're talking about now still leads into that conversation of, where does that product come from? How does that product become a viable, not only viable product, but a product, daggone it, I'm going to say nice things about, and my friends are also going to want to buy it. So as you're dealing with labor, as you're dealing with costs, as you're dealing with time, as you're dealing with, I don't know, whatever wrinkle life just threw you, and you've had a few, as we all have, you still get up the next day and you're ready to go. I think it's amazing. How do you do that?
Well, I think when you think of misunderstandings, it was on me too. I thought, I'm going to leave this corporate job and I'm going to start farming. I want to work hard. I love to work hard. Physical labor. I have no idea why. Don't know where it comes from. But in the end, that was my misunderstanding. It was not just physical labor. It was the mental toll that it took on me. It was not just the processing of chickens, which by the end of the year really does take a toll on you. We thank the birds every time for all they've done for us, but in the end, you're still killing the bird, and it impacts you. But another misunderstanding that I've seen that has affected me is the political environment within farming. And it was really almost the same as what I left in the corporate world. And I think that was another misunderstanding. I thought, oh, well, all farmers are community oriented and they'll be just like me, and we're all doing this for the land, for the health of our, the people in Botetourt County or wherever you're farming. But it's not like that. It's has the same undercurrents as any other environment. So that was a misunderstanding on my part, that there's still bullies. There's still, the person that speaks the loudest gets the most attention. All those things are still a factor in farming. And that's where one of my misunderstandings was going into farming.
Yes. Yes, we are all just tall children. Yes. Back with the...
Wait a minute. Say that again. I want to write that down. We are what? All what?
We're just tall children.
All children.
Just because we got bigger doesn't mean we changed our behavior.
Okay, gotcha. That's my takeaway from today, Carmen.
Well,
we're all tall children.
I think it's because Carmen's also like a mature individual. So when you try to, this is not in this, okay? This is not scrap all this, scratch it. Serious.
She says it every time, and I never do, because we're having a conversation.
No, this is
a real conversation, and I'm now a tall children, and I am pleased to hear
that. And I think that's what, I went 2 years doing farmers markets. Last year, I only sold off the farm, and that was one reason that the lack of being community oriented turned me to just hunker down on my farm and be by myself. And I worry that people will continue to do that, which is good for me. It's much easier to set up on my farm, but it's so much harder for the consumer to get the products if you have to go to every different farm. And so I worry about that, but I did it. I did the same thing. I just hunkered down, but it worked. I mean, it did fine for me, but
yeah,
that is one of the repercussions of that environment.
It was it's so reclusive by nature. I mean, it's so introverted by nature, yes. Being a farmer.
Mm-hmm. It's very isolating.
Yes. Yep. So that's why the community is so important.
Yes.
And if we don't have that backbone, how are we going to be strong and supportive? How are we going to keep farming in the family or have new farmers enter that market if it's not hospitable?
Yeah. When I think the customer, when I think about, like I told you, I keep doing this. I keep dragging those tractors through the field because I don't want to let those very loyal customers down. And, that's how impactful those customers have been to me. They've been so loyal. So
it's a goal of ours eventually to have some type of, not advocacy group, but just have the farmers and agriculturalists in this county, regions support each other and be strong enough. I think of other communities like, of course, Blacksburg Farmers Market, Blacksburg, Floyd, those types. And they're just so supportive. They're just family to each other.
Yes.
And they rely so heavily that they're so just integrated. They're woven into the fabric of each other's lives. And I love that. And I wish we could emulate that somehow or use it as a model for closer to home.
But I don't know how you make that. Like, it has to be in the person.
Right. You're trying to change the actual fabric of the culture.
If it's in you, then it would be going on. Or I don't know how you would create that. It's very interesting. That would be something for a Virginia Tech student to come.
A Virginia Tech student? Boy, they don't have time to think about stuff like this. They were too busy with Metallica back in early mid-May. All 100,000 people running around. Yeah, that was something else. I'll tell you what. I wish I was in college back in those days.
I thought you were going to say running around like they're chicken with the
head
cut off.
Not with
how appropriate. Okay.
So, like running around like what, Tara?
What?
Chickens with their heads cut off?
Yeah, or in cones, whatever we're doing, right? Yeah.
I'm 10 seconds behind her every day of the week. I swear. Anyway.
Write that down, Tom. So.
Yeah.
So, any shift in kind of how you approach business since you started? Any avenues you thought were really going to work, or methods that have completely changed?
No. We started correctly with the chickens, and all the things that I put in place at that time still work. The one thing I was thinking of as I was preparing for this, we're talking about, growth of the farm, and something that I've learned is, the first year farming, I was running so many birds that there were more of them that would get hurt, have leg problems, etc. And we created this little mini chicken hospital, in essence, where I tried to bring them back to life. It was ridiculous what I went through for those chickens. And sometimes I have 4 or 5 chickens in this daggone hospital. Well, what I learned is I could not bring them back to health. They may live to the day that I process, but their life was really bad, meaning, they lost their use of their legs. So yes, they could live, I could feed them, I could water them, but it was not a life. And so in that first year, I learned, okay, they can make it, but Carmen, you said when you started on this journey that all these animals would live great lives. So in the second year, I took the hospital out of the equation. If there was something wrong with the bird, by the next day, if they, 2 days later, they couldn't keep up with the rest of the birds in the tractor, then they had to go. And I think that was a learning that I could use in other parts of my life, right? Sometimes you have to cut it off early for everyone's benefit. And don't just keep dragging things out. And that was a weird way to learn that concept, but it was almost like choosing mercy over attachment. Like when I was in the corporate world, you make a bad hire, you need to just go ahead and cut the ties for the benefit of everyone versus dragging it out and everyone loses. So, so many places in life that you can think about this, but that was one learning from that. It was a mistake I made, and it was out of my heart. I wanted to save them, but now I've learned you just can't, and it is the best for everyone involved.
A lot of wisdom there, Tara. A lot of wisdom, no doubt about it. I would like to ask Carmen this question. So what's new for your farm this year? A couple times when you're doing your thing, we'd come to the market or we'd come up to your farm and we'd say, "What's up?" And she said, "Well, I have cheese." "What do you mean you have cheese?" "Last time I checked, chickens didn't make cheese." But or she would say, I have this, I have these vegetables, I have these flowers, I have what, like you surprise me sometimes. So any surprises for this coming, season such as it is?
Well, I carried over flowers. I am still doing some flowers just to continue learning in this year. So part of the garden is flowers, and that's literally just, I saved some seeds from last year. Are they going to work this year? I saved some of the roots of some of the plants, the dahlias. Can I overwinter them? Will they work in the ground? We actually kind of upped our vegetable game this year. That's not really for sale to the public unless there's extra. But on the farm this year, I'm committed to learn to can. So I know a little bit about it. We have tons of raspberries growing, so it's learning how to do that. And, my parents have this gift. They know how to do it. I've got to learn that this year. I think in my kind of season of not doing as much with the chickens, I'm going to try turkeys just because it's a natural fit, and I want to see if I can do it. And so turkeys might be the only addition this year.
I don't know. I got to go back because I just appreciate so much what you were talking about with you always go back to revisiting. Let me rephrase this again, third or fourth time. I think the reason that you're so successful in what you do and such a model for others, because I have such takeaways from you all the time, because I just like your philosophy. You tie everything back to your mission and your goal. It ties back to one kind of central emotion, that you're doing it for the animals, you're doing it for the people, right? You're doing it for the general welfare and the benefit, and they're always at your heart of everything you do. You always trace it back. And when you use that as kind of your compass and your reference point, I don't think you can ever be led astray with that. And as dense as the world is around you and you're afraid they may not see that, it does come out. And I think you see the effects, whether it be 1, 2, couple years down the road. It does filter and is very magnetic. And I appreciate that about you.
Well, I think I used to have trouble with public speaking, like back in corporate days, early on. It was because I didn't know what I was talking about. I could memorize something and do public speaking, but then as I grew in my career, I knew the stuff inside and out, and public speaking became natural because it was in me. I knew it, I felt it. It's the same thing with this farm. If it's in your heart and you want to educate people and you believe in it, it comes natural. And that's where it's come for me.
Did you know that Tara's got animals that have voices? Did you know that?
No.
Well, I'll introduce you to one in a second, but do any of your animals, did they have voices? Did they talk to you?
No.
No. You just remembered them real well.
Yes.
By their quiet personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on whether or not we've taken our meds that morning. Sometimes.
Well, Tara's got animals that talk to her on her farm, and sometimes, they're good, and sometimes they've been very, very bad.
Farming is lonely.
Yeah, that I know. Carmen, let's finish off with just whatever words of wisdom you want to share with us. You've been an engaging person to be around. You're fun to shop with. I assume you're going into whatever's ahead this year, next year, whatever, with a good outlook. And so what's your final word of the day?
I think I still have a passion for the fact that as an individual, I can feed people in my community. Like when I think those people got nourishment from something that I produce that is really good for them, I cannot stop doing this. And so this year is a little bit smaller because I can only do so much in 1 year. But I can never see stopping this, because once you do it, even if it evolves, I don't think it will for me, but even if it evolves just doing it for your family, the fact that you can produce these animals or vegetables or fruits that nourish your family, once you do it, you can never go back.
I think I can get away with this. I'll try. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh.
From Carmen.
Oh, okay. Carmen's better than
Yes.
Charlie. I guess, didn't we called something Charlie earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a 6-pound bird. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you being here. As always,
Thank
you're welcome to stick your head in any time and come fish in our pond with your kid and have a good time with it. But much success in this coming season.
Thank you. And if you want to find us, I do lots of educational videos, and you can actually go back in time and see things that I educated people on very early on in this farming career that I have, and it is Fincastle Farm. That's on Instagram and Facebook, and then I have a website, which is fincastlefarmva.com.
Well, I always love having Carmen on. She always leaves me with some little seed or nugget to contemplate later, and just brings it full circle and kind of makes you revisit the mission and why you're doing this every day.
You need to be around deep thinkers every now and then, just sort of widen your perspective about what's what.
Exactly.
I like
Recalibrates you.
So what's up? What's what with you guys? What's the farm looking like? What are you concentrating on?
We're diversifying even further, adding more projects on, which questionable as always, right? So diving headfirst into a few other projects. The bees, of course, that's going. Have some funny stories I'll share next time after I have to let them sit. So they're funny memories. Right now they're too, what the hell was I thinking?
Okay.
But give me a couple weeks and we can reflect and laugh about them. But I'm not at the laughing about it stage yet.
Does that mean I have to come up with a bee voice now?
Don't ruin this for me. Okay.
Okay. Challenge laid down. I'm just saying, voice. All right, I'll work on that a little bit. Let's just get out of pollen and let's get back to just routine mowing, please. Let's get back to trimming. Let's get back to just doing regular stuff.
Yeah. What type of mowing?
Well, you're mowing acreage. I'm just trying to keep the property clean around here. So,
Yeah, I've been having thoughts about that. I don't know. I don't know. I think I looked at it. I saw the clover. I saw the dandelions, and I thought,
You're good with that?
why the hell why are we mowing? Well, seriously, I mean, who's it for?
Yeah.
What am I supporting? What am I damaging in the process? I don't know. I've been struggling with that, but that's for another time.
All right,
I'll even put that in there.
That is for another time, and we're looking forward to that time together with everybody who's joined us now and will join us in the future. And just don't forget, will you, that the Forgotten Fields Project will be here. And by the way, if you have anything that you would like to contribute, whether it be an idea or, a comment of some sort, bump into us in the store or hit us online, whatever you want to do. We'll be more than happy to have a chat with you
Yeah.
and agree with everything you have to say. Tara, have a good one. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, Robin.